Good morning. Welcome to a one-mind meditation session. Well, it's Thursday morning and over here in South Africa it's a public holiday. So I hope that you're able to have a bit of extra rest today if you live in SA. And if you're not here, wherever else you are, it might just be a normal Thursday. And I wish you an awesome normal Thursday then. Our teacher this week is Alan Cohen. I've got a couple of thoughts from Alan Cohen that leads us into today's meditation. And just before we get started, remember it's always a great idea to bring your attention to your breathing. Breathe in through your nose, all the way down into your belly. Slowly out. And whenever you stop, breathe slowly and breathe deeply. Your nervous system changes. When your nervous system changes from survival to calm, you give yourself access to different parts of your brain and different parts of your body. So it's always a great idea to set yourself up with some deep, easy, slow breathing. Good morning, Anthony, Pat, Charlene, Melanie, Maggie. Awesome seeing you all. Right, a couple of thoughts before we get into meditation. Alan Cohen says, personal growth is not a matter of learning new information, but of unlearning old limits. Personal growth is not a matter of learning new information, but unlearning old limitations. We always think of growth as starting from one point and moving away from it. But if we're born pretty perfect souls, and sometimes I think growth is getting rid of all the bad messaging and coming back to the truth of who we really are. Unlearning old limitations is what Alan Cohen calls it. He also says that all limits exist only in the mind, and it is only in the mind that they can be overcome. All of our limits exist only in our minds, and it is only inside of us, in our minds, that we can overcome our limits. That we can look at ourselves with new eyes, see ourselves through new lenses, and see how whatever old limitations we might have put on ourselves can be overcome. And one more thought on limitations. Alan Cohen says, we can look at any experience in two ways. Through the eyes of lack or the eyes of plenty. Fear sees limits, while love sees possibilities. Each attitude will be justified by the belief system you cherish. Change your allegiance from fear to love, and love will sustain you wherever you walk. So in a little part of this quote, he also speaks about limit. He says, fear sees limits while love sees possibilities. Which seems to indicate that if you are going to overcome your limits, then you'll have to start loving yourself. Fear sees limits while love sees possibilities. This is our meditation today. You are limitless. And for today's experience, we're not picking a flower, but we're coming together, sitting in a circle under a big tree. So if you're ready, get your imagination into gear and join us in a circle under a big tree. You can close your eyes and let's float away, starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. it go. Deep breath in. And out. One more big breath in. And let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head toward the ceiling, and once you've reached your full height, let it all go. As you breathe out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders and drop your head. As you continue your full body breathing, look around your circle and notice the rest of us breathing in our own rhythms. Within the middle of our circle, a big, thick pine tree. As you sit and breathe, when you inhale, can you smell the pine needles? As you continue your full body breathing, when you put your hands on the ground next to you, can you feel pine needles touching your palms? do the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward. And roll out your neck muscles. And big half circles to the left and also to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. And one more big breath in. As you release, you can stretch, move, or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having stepped into presence as much as we can turn inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, feel into your body, feel the muscles inside your body, and guide every muscle to softness. Take a deep breath in. As you release, follow that downwards flow. Your shoulders are slowly falling, your body is slowly softening, and you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in. And hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your body dissolving. Feel yourself slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation that invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slipping all the way in. As you hold your breath, you're spending a few moments holding you inside of you. Hold your breath only as long as it feels really comfortable. And make every exhale as long and slow as you can. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, remind yourself of the circle of humans sitting with you. Take your next big breath. Your next big breath as you dive deep into you. Look at this bed of pine needles that you're sitting on. Pine needles surrounding this tree. And for a moment, imagine what happens in the ground below. Imagine you can see the root system of this tree and its interaction with all of the microbes. that we see nothing about. But we know as we're sitting in our circle around this tree, all of that is happening below our feet. Take your next big breath. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, shift your attention to the bark around this thick pine tree. And if you get up closer and look at the cracks of this bark, you'll see countless bugs making their home in the bark of this tree, finding their place to sleep and finding their food to eat from what this tree brings. Take your next big breath. Following this tree upwards and look at its arms spread wide. By just being who it is, it provides a home to so many. In those wide spread arms, it holds the nests of birds. By just being what it is of great service. Take your next big breath. breath as you dive deep into you. Take a look at the pine cones, at the fruiting bodies, and just being exactly what it is. This pine tree gives life to the world around it. Take your next big breath. Even these thin green pine needles, when we think of leaves, tends to be that our minds picture broad, flat, green. But there's a thought that it might be that most of the oxygen produced by trees gets produced by these green needles. As thin as they are, this pine tree just being what it is gives us life with all the oxygen it creates. Take your next big breath. Take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in. And hold. As you release, invite softness into every part of your body. Take a deep breath in hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. I'd love for you to sit all the way back, or even lie all the way back down under this beautiful pine tree and feel yourself just floating. While we look at this majestic tree, it's worth noticing a few more things. This pine tree is just being who it is. And it's being of service just because it's being who it is. It doesn't measure itself against the other pine trees to find which is taller. It doesn't measure or count the birds' nests in its arms to see if it's holding more than any other tree. It simply goes on along with its business of being its own full potential. And not to compare us to this amazing tree, we don't produce oxygen, we don't hold birds' nests in our arms. But it is also worth noticing that for this tree, this one expression is it. It can't walk down the street to help a neighbor. It can't show up at someone else's door with food when it's necessary. It doesn't matter, and this tree doesn't care. It's just being its full potential. But for you, beautiful human, one expression is not it. You don't have to compare yourself to a tree and judge yourself based on whether you provide as much value as a tree does. You simply have to notice that your ability to express yourself is limitless. Your ability to create has no boundaries. There are ways in which you can create that you have not even discovered yet. Your potential doesn't have to be measured against anyone else's potential. You simply have to lean in more and more to who you are. But for us, it's a bit more difficult to know than the tree. For the tree, it's just obvious who and what he is. For us, our minds are a bit different. Our thoughts are many. Knowing who we are can be a tough job. But here you are. You show up again and again, which means you are slowly uncovering who you are. Pay attention to what is fleeting. The more you do this, the better you get at this. The more you notice what is fleeting, the thoughts, the emotions, the parts of me that come and go. The better you are at noticing what is fleeting, this happens slowly, the more you'll start to notice what has more permanence. Which are the parts of you that, like this tree or like your mountain, doesn't shift much. It's always there in the background, below the surface. Patiently waiting for the fleeting clouds to move. And it's there again. That solid space within you. Stay on the journey of uncovering who you are. And just by being you, you are of as much service, if not more, than this big, beautiful pine tree. You truly are limitless. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to pay more clear attention to what is fleeting in me, to see more clearly the things that come, that roll in, and also roll out. Take a deep breath in. With this practice, thank you for slowly coming to know the part of me that has more permanence. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for coming to recognize that there's a deeper part of me that has been quite unchanged. Even though on the surface, lots has been going on. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to have acceptance for the fickle movement of thoughts and emotions, while more and more leaning in to the permanence I have found below the surface. One more big breath in. beautiful people. Your expression, your ability to express knows no limits. And there's a deeper part of you that's connected to something more, that has a permanence that you can always make your way back to. Thank you, Charlene. Good morning, Tamara, Leroy, Linda. Hello. Thanks, Maggie. Have a beautiful day. Hope you have a very peaceful public holiday over here, or just a really nice, normal Thursday if you're not in South Africa. Lots of love to you all. See you again soon. Thanks, Anthony. Ciao, ciao.